Hi guys, welcome to The Bored Sailor. I am your host Avi, and in today's video I wanted to talk about depression. I wanted to talk about depression specifically when it comes to India. As you guys can see on the screen, a very promising Bollywood actor by the name of Sushant Singh Rajput had committed suicide recently. He is literally of my age. He was born in 1986. I was born in 1986. And this was the first news that we saw this morning as soon as we woke up. It broke our hearts. Maureen and I were shocked to hear this news. We couldn't believe it. We first thought it was a prank or someone trolling. But when we started looking at the various news outlets, and confirmed that this had happened, we were heartbroken because we loved pretty much all of his movies, right from his debut in Kai Po Che. I personally loved MS Dhoni and how he portrayed Dhoni's character. Being a fan of cricket, being someone who loves Dhoni, I think he portrayed that character perfectly. And even his last movie, Chichore, which took us by surprise because Maureen and I weren't expecting, the movie to be what it was. It really touched us. And ironically, the movie revolved around the concept of suicide. In the movie, Sushant Singh Rajput's son commits suicide because he put this pressure on himself to score a certain marks for an exam. There was a cutoff and he missed the cutoff, didn't get the admission. And because of the pressure that he put on himself and for failing to meet the expectations that he set for himself, he committed suicide. So the movie just basically revolves around that. And now to hear something like this, it's again unbelievable, it's unfortunate, and it's heartbreaking. But it also brings to light a concept, a silent concept that exists in India. Now, before I dive into it, I just wanted to say that regardless of everything happening out there, I still do consider myself fortunate to live in a country like the United States where you can openly talk about mental health illness and depression. There are so many resources, not just, provided through your school or your college or your workplace, but there are also so many third-party and outside resources that are available, like suicide hotlines, like mental health illness hotlines, like depression hotlines. If you just want to talk to somebody, if you are alone or if you don't want or seek the help of your near and dear ones and you just want a fresh perspective of things, there are so many resources. You can openly talk to your colleagues, your friends, and there are so many people who are aware of such a thing that they'll be more than likely to help you and assist you and show you that there's a new perspective, and if needed, get you the help you deserve. Like, I'm going to put myself in a vulnerable situation. 2018, I was going through what I would consider and still consider one of the most darkest phases in my life. And I did have thoughts of suicide. I did have thoughts of helplessness. And I seeked medical help. I seeked therapy, and it worked for me. It made me feel better. Again, it showed me different perspectives on how to tackle a certain situation, especially when you feel helpless within yourself, when you feel that there's no one or no resource to help you. There are professionals who basically guide you through a process and they help you. But unfortunately, the openness that exists, in countries like the United States, depression is a taboo topic in India. Growing up or even as an adult, if you wish to talk about depression, if you do want to express to somebody that you are depressed or you have some sort of mental health illness, you are basically cast away. You are basically chastised for having a mental health issue. You are basically ridiculed for being depressed or letting depression consume you. And one unfortunate part that plays a huge role in depression in India is this expectation that society, that parents have from their kids right from when they're young. You might have heard this expression that all Indians are doctors or engineers. Well, that to a part is true because, again, kids when they grow up, they are basically rammed with this idea that you have to be a doctor, you have to be an engineer, or if there's a family profession or if there's a family tradition, regardless of what you want to do in life, you have to continue the family legacy. And if you don't become a doctor or an engineer, or you don't become, the next carrier of that family legacy, then basically you're a failure, your family is a failure. And that, just that thought puts so much pressure on any child. Like, I'm not saying that, you shouldn't expect things from your kids. I'm not saying that you should push your kids, especially when you see potential in them. But at some point, you also have to let your kids decide what they want to do in life. But mostly, regardless of if a kid is okay with being pushed, or, if a kid wants to set like high goals and expectations from themselves, you also have to teach the kid to handle failures. Like, I was reading this morning that in India, you are always being prepared for success, but you are not taught how to deal with failure. And I don't know the situation surrounding Sushant's death, Sushant's suicide. You have to think that, someone who has money, fame, doesn't have to worry about where his next meal is going to come from, or doesn't have to worry about a roof over his head, especially with everybody in the world affected by coronavirus. Everybody's financial means have taken a hit in one way or another. People are, burning through their savings, trying to keep their finances and their homes afloat, trying to have electricity in their house, food on their plate. Some people are just, using up all the savings that they've had through the years just to survive. So, yes, there may be many circumstances. And speaking of that, there was another thing that I came across, basically when this news was passing around our circles. Some of the elders, the generation before us, basically were saying, well, he has all this money. He has, everything in life. What is he depressed about? And again, that shows this sense of, ignorance that exists regarding depression. Again, you could have all the money in the world. You could have all the fame and fortune in the world. You could have all the luck in the world. But if within you, you feel unfulfilled, if within you, you feel incomplete, if within you, you feel that something's missing, then, that consumes you. Like, the only thing I wish is parents, friends, family, society creates a more open dialogue for depression, for mental health illness. So if you're a parent, just go up to your kid and tell them that regardless of what the expectations they set for themselves, what expectations the world might set for them, or society might set for them, or you might set for them, let your kid know that at some point, if they do feel overwhelmed, at some point, if they do feel too much pressure, at some point, if they feel that they're going to fail or they have failed, that you will always be there to help them. You will always be a resource for them. You might not be the solution to whatever they're going through, but they can always approach you, and that you will understand them, you will listen to them, you will empathize with them, and you will provide all the support they need, including getting help from outside resources, even seeking medical help or therapy. If you are someone young in the family, if you're a teenager and you are going through depression, or you feel overwhelmed, or you feel that you need help, ask for it. Yes, you might be facing a million questions like, why are you depressed? You have everything in life. We've given you everything in life. Because again, growing up in an Indian family, the moment you say you're depressed, or the moment you feel that you're missing something, your parents will take it upon themselves and say like, well, we've given you everything, so you have no reason to be depressed. You have to sit down and educate them. You have to sit down and let them know that regardless, again, of someone having everything in life or being provided, for everything in life, you could still be depressed. So if you are, again, a teenager or a young adult and you are going through life, and sometimes life will be overwhelming, sometimes life will be too demanding for you. You might fail an exam, you might not get the job you want from the company you want, or you might just, have lost a relationship, a relationship broke apart for you that you saw a future in. Whatever the reason is, if you need help, ask for it. demand for it. We will surely miss him. I hope the details surrounding his death comes out. I wish you all the best, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, especially with everything happening with the coronavirus, especially the folks in India, because India seems to be becoming the new epicenter. So stay safe. Keep in touch with your family. Keep in touch with your friends. Make sure they're all right, even if it means sending a message through Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp or Instagram. Just check on your friends, check on your family, make sure they're okay. Stay safe again, guys. Stay healthy, and I'll see you guys soon.